Do y'all ever feel like completely overwhelmed? Like there's just so much stuff going on? That's kind of how I feel right now. I mean, I just got Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and then I got Grand Blue Fantasy Relink knocking down my door, then Persona 3 Reload, and at the end of the month there's Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Like, for God's sakes, slow down. There are so many games being released this month, it is just too much. And yeah, though, it is a kind of good problem to have, but it's still definitely a problem. And hey y'all, if you are new to the channel, please be sure to leave a like to show your love, and as well subscribe for some more great content, including top 10s, reviews, and news. And now, let's go over all of these games releasing in February, because there is quite a bit. First up, we have Anomaly Collapse with their demo released over on the PC. This actually came out on January the 11th, but I missed it last month, and I wanted to make sure to cover it here. The full game is not yet out, but there is a free demo over on the Steam for you to check out. Here, you control a team of furry fighters, each with their own specific classes, and while this might look like any other turn-based RPG, it actually combines a strategy genre into the battles as well, as each battle takes place on a grid, and that almost plays out like a puzzle. If you're looking for some futuristic, furry fun, look no further. Number 2, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, released for the PS4, PS5, and PC on February the 1st. I am sure many of y'all played this demo like I did, and boy oh boy, was I blown away. It has been such a long time since we've gotten a traditional, gorgeous action RPG with tons of great characters and a soundtrack that sounds straight out of the SNES. If the demo is anything to go by, then this could easily be like the Game of the Year contender. I mean, Octopath Traveler 2 came out last February, and that stood the test of time, so I think that this one will too. Number 3, Persona 3 Reload, released for the PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC on February the 2nd. Story time! When the first two games got released on the PlayStation, they got dragged through the mud. Both of them were regarded as pretty much the worst RPGs on the entire system, and that was just kind of like accepted as the universal truth back then, even though nowadays the internet wants to sweep that whole debacle under the rug and just pretend like Persona was always the bee's knees. But whatever, I'm just spitting some facts about how they were regarded in the late 90s. Everybody said so. So, when the third game came out, I completely ignored it. I mean, I thought that it was going to be just as terrible as the first two. That is, until it won RPG Gamer's Game of the Year, and then that Fez edition came out for only like $20. So I picked it up, and the rest is history. I've played all the Personas since, and now I have the chance to relive my very first Persona experience, and that's not a chance that you get every day, folks. Number 4, Starshift Rebellion, released on February the 9th. Infernus Prime is a mining colony in the Outer Rim under brutal occupation. With the help of a hacked android and the discovery of a dark secret below the surface, the rebels see their chance to finally break free from their oppressors. That there is the tagline of the game, and I like it. This is Fire Emblem meets Final Fantasy set in like a sci-fi environment. And while in your spaceship, you'll be fighting turn-based strategy battles, but then later on, getting out and exploring the towns and dungeons on foot. One of my favorite things to do whenever I'm compiling up these videos is to go through the upcoming releases over on the Steam, and then highlight a game that I think is pretty darn cool, but would go otherwise unnoticed. So I hope that this little shout out helps out the development team. Number 5, Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden, released for the Xbox, PS5, and PC on February the 13th. This is an interesting one, and it tells a story between two fated lovers, Antea and Red. They're banishers, essentially ghost hunters, but during their last mission, Antea was fatally wounded, becoming one of the spirits that she loathes. So now the couple desperately searches for a way to free her from the ghostly realm. As banishers, you have to use your wits and then combine Antea's spiritual powers along with Red's arsenal to defeat and banish the souls tormenting the living. Number 6, Rette, Jewel of Phomore, released for the PS4, PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC on February the 13th. Oh my gosh, if there's one thing that I didn't have my bingo card, it was a game inspired by those god-awful Zelda games on the CDI that are stuck on there. Like, who could have ever seen this one coming? Hopefully this is just graphically inspired by them, and it's not actually gameplay inspired by them, because, like, have y'all played those games? They sucked. Here you take control of Princess Zelda, or Princess Arzette, as you travel through multiple locations filled with secrets, and the developer himself said that it kind of plays like those old Monster World games back on the Sega. Number 7. Dungeon Travelers 2 Heart 2 in Another World, releasing for the PC on February the 15th. Here we have a dungeon crawling RPG in the same vein as something like Etrian Odyssey, where you can recruit a huge cast of friends from tons of different job classes, and then build the best party for the job, as you go off and explore one long twisting and turning dungeon that only gets more perilous the further that you go down. This was originally released for the PSP, but only in Japan back in the day, but now it's being released to the West, with plenty of, sexual innuendo to go around. Number 8. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4, releasing for the PS5 on February the 16th. Thank you, NIS America! We love you! Just the original Cold Steel games have been getting more and more expensive. NISA went and released this compilation of 3 and 4 on the PS5. Unfortunately though, Xseed still holds the rights for the first 2 games, so we can't get compilations of those, but with Trails into Daybreak right around the corner, now is a good time to refresh your memory on all the events that took place back in Erebonia. Or you could just be like a dumb bitch like me with no impulse control, and just pick it up because you love a good collector's edition. Number 9. The Thaumaturge, released for the PC on February the 20th. I'm a big ol' history nerd, so I love games that are set in interesting historical time periods, and this takes place in 1905 Warsaw, when it's under the control of the Russian Tsars, and it's an isometric RPG with like a unique take on turn-based combat, along with investigation mechanics, forcing you to make morally ambiguous choices. You're the Thermite, the only one who can tame the ghostly Salutors, who constantly manipulate the citizenry, so it's up to you to root them out and set society right. Number 10. The Last Epoch, releasing for the PC on February the 21st. I went and looked this one up on Steam, because it's exiting early access, and much to my surprise, it already had over 20,000 positive reviews, so that must be saying something. Here, you begin as one of 5 different classes, then you ascend into more ones, each with their own specialized abilities, and then you build options and over 100 different skill trees too. It all combines time travel, dungeon crawling, and endless replayability as you travel through the world of Atera's past, and then face down dark empires, wrathful gods, and untouched wilds, and hopefully even find a way to save time itself from the void. Number 11. King Arthur Knight's Tale, releasing for the Xbox and PS5 on February the 22nd. This game has already been out on the PC for quite a bit of time now, but now it's getting its console port, along with some new features, and it seems cool, like it's a modern retelling of the classic Arthurian legend, but with a dark twist. You play as Sir Mordred, the nemesis of King Arthur, and here you kill the king, but with his dying breath, he also kills you. So you both die, and yet you both live, as the Lady of the Lake brings you back to life with the stipulation that you finish what you started. That is, to kill King Arthur once and for all. Number 12. Sheeran The Wanderer, the mystery dungeon of Serpent Coil Island, releasing for the Nintendo Switch on February the 27th. This is the 6th entry into the long-running Sheeran The Wanderer series, which began back on the SNES in like 1995, and it pretty much single-handedly invented the whole mystery dungeon subgenre, where you essentially dive deep into a randomly generated dungeon, and every time that you enter, you like start over at level 1, and if you die, you're just completely screwed because you lose everything. So that being said, these aren't exactly my kind of games, but hey, whatever. Here you play as Sheeran as he receives a vision of a mysterious girl in danger, so of course, he goes off to rescue her, even though he has no idea who she is. He must really want some of that booty. Number 13. Goblin Slayer, Another Adventure, Nightmare Feast, releasing for the Nintendo Switch and PC on February the 29th. This is the first console game released in the Goblin Slayer franchise, which features a brand new story set in the four-cornered world, along with original characters, and it's going to be a tactical turn-based RPG in the same vein as something like Final Fantasy Tactics, with a fully voiced main story. So, if you are a fan of the anime, you're really going to want to check this out and support the series because, Lord knows, it is going to get completely overshadowed, because also on February 29th, we have the last game that I'm going to cover, number 14, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, releasing for the PS5.
This could very well be the biggest game release of the entire year, and we're getting it within the second month, so you can really enjoy it all year long to its fullest extent. And while the remake only took place in Midgar, this one begins right as Cloud and the game leave the city, and the world is their oyster. You can call and ride upon chocobos, use fast travels to go anywhere that you want to, and they've revamped the combat to be even more fast, fluid, and fun. I had a chance to play this demo way back in August during TwitchCon here in Vegas, which I attended with Blitz, and we both thoroughly enjoyed our time with it, and I cannot wait for this one to come out. This is easily my game of the month for February. So that's it for all the RPGs releasing this month. What games are you most excited for? Let's get a discussion going on here, and let's all talk and chat about it, because I'm always in the comments too. And if you like what I do here on the channel, please head on over to the Patreon side for early access to my videos, as well as some behind the scenes photographs. The link to it is over in the video description. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.